You're listening to the Telltale channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. So the first article I wanted to look at is a really interesting one. It's entitled Jehovah's Witnesses Complete First Sign Language Bible. I have some questions, okay? I have some questions, but let's just read a little bit of this before I get into the questions. This is by news-journal.com, Longview News Journal, apparently, by Adele M. Banks Religion News Service, February 29th, 2020 is when this was written. When Howard Mallory first saw the Gospel of Matthew rendered in American Sign Language nearly 15 years ago, he said he was able to understand it more easily than when reading it in English. Seeing it in sign language, it was amazing, said Mallory, a deaf Jehovah's Witness from Northfield, New Hampshire. Of course, we wanted more. Only one book was done. On February 15th, the last of the Bible's 66 books, The Story of Job, was released in video on the Jehovah's Witnesses website, completing what Robert Hendricks, U.S. spokesman for the church, said is the only complete Bible in ASL. Okay, now for my questions. Why? Why would you do that? Deaf people can read. What's the point in putting it in American Sign Language? Like, ASL is the American-specific version of sign language, so it's only useful here in the United States, first of all. And second, is this like a deaf person's version of an audiobook? Is that what this is? They have to stare at something anyways, so what's the point in doing sign language instead of just reading the book? This doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe that's ableist. I don't know. It's just really strange to me that somebody would do this in sign language instead of just reading the book. Just read the book in words instead of... Okay, anyway. It's like, could deaf people not read it before? Is their hearing a hindrance to their reading ability? Or what's happening? This is just really strange. Okay, let's continue reading. There have been 60 million downloads of the free videos. The signers are all men dressed in jackets and ties, with the English translation below, since the Gospel of Matthew was released in 2006. We're not aware of any other translation ever in history in sign language, in any sign language that is complete, Hendricks said. There are many who have begun the translation, some who feel they'll finish it soon, some who are way off, but this is the first complete Bible with the 66 books. I've talked about this before in previous videos, but Jehovah's Witnesses' translation of the Bible was basically translated after they already had their belief system formed out. So the words they chose to use when translating support their already held beliefs. So the differences seem negligible between their translation and other translations of the Bible, but when you really get into it and look at the word differences, there are some differences here or there that support their belief system that don't necessarily belong there, that other translators believe don't fit there, or it shouldn't have been translated that way. So, generally speaking, I don't read the New World Translation, Jehovah's Witnesses translation of the Bible. I think it's full of things like that. I've seen lots and lots of examples. And like I said, I've done a video on this on my podcast and on my main channel. So if you're wondering what those differences are, those little differences, then just go check those videos out. I may end up putting a link in the description. Anyway, let's continue reading. According to the website of the United Bible Societies, which did not respond immediately to a request for comment, other Bible societies have been working on a similar goal. There are over 400 sign languages, and yet some Bible translation has so far only been carried out for 40 of these, and no sign language Bible exists, reads its website. The American Bible Society, likewise, said in an October post on its website that there was no complete sign language Bible, but we are inching closer and closer to changing this. Seriously, what's the point of a sign language Bible? I don't get it. This is basically the audiobook version of the Bible, I guess, for deaf people, except your eyes are occupied anyways. What is the point? What's the point? I really don't understand the point of this at all. This seems like such a waste of time. Why would anybody do this? I don't get it. Deaf Missions, an Iowa-based Christian organization, is close. Praise God, we have finished translating the entire New Testament and 33 out of 39 Old Testament books, said CEO Chad Entinger in an emailed response to questions. We look forward to celebrating on October 1st, 2020, the faithful, diligent work of those who have worked with Deaf Missions through the years to get all 66 books translated into ASL, the native, preferred, and heart language of deaf people. Howard Mallory said his favorite section of the Bible is the book of Daniel because it helps me to understand different prophecies and how they're being fulfilled today and what's going to happen in the future. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't help you understand that stuff at all, honestly. Mallory attends one of the 231 ASL congregations among the 13,000 U.S. gatherings of Jehovah's Witnesses. Little fun fact about me, Jehovah's Witnesses a lot of the time have these programs where they'll send you to like a Spanish congregation or a French congregation or whatever, trying to get you to learn a new language for the religion to try to help spread the word in other languages. Well, there wasn't really a demand for Spanish in my area. We didn't even have a Spanish congregation. But there was a demand for ASL. So I learned a little bit of sign language as a Jehovah's Witness to try to translate basically the assemblies and things like that into sign language for deaf people. It was really cool, actually. It was really valuable. I'm glad that I got a chance to do that. But seriously, this seems so stupid. Anyway, let's continue reading. Of the 1.3 million active members known for knocking on doors and standing on street corners to bear witness of the faith, about 2,300 are deaf. It's not very many, and 1.3 million active members, that's not correct. Although they say active members, so to be an active member, you actually have to be knocking on doors. They have 8.5 million members. I don't know who wrote this, but it seems inaccurate, just based off of what I know of the religion. Either way, interesting story. I just wanted to kind of cover that because it doesn't really make any sense to me, like at all. What a strange thing to do. It's just really, really weird.